a review on the new L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation as well as the powder for you guys. So let's start out with the foundation. It says it's a 24-hour foundation. It's a demi-matte finish or air light, oil free. And on the back it says that the finish is demi-matte. It wears up to 24 hours. The coverage is a medium and the texture is air light. So this is a new system that L'Oreal is putting on the back of their packaging. As you can see, they're trying to help people out and let them know what kind of finish it has, what kind of coverage, as well as the time wear and what it feels like on your skin. So that's going to be very helpful to those people with this kind of new packaging. On the back, it also kind of tells you that you need to smooth out the skin and do a rolling motion. I just kind of apply this normally would. And I really like the fact that the packaging is see-through. You can actually see the color of the foundation through it. This was the best match for me as far as skin tone, and I'm in the shade Natural Beige. I do like the fact that you don't need a pump. It's a squeeze tube, so at least it's nice and clean, and you can just go ahead and squeeze it directly onto the brush. So for this foundation, I have to say I am not really truly in love with it. It's kind of just an okay foundation. It's not something that I would think that I would repurchase for the fact that this foundation is so dry, and I never thought I'd say that about a matte like a foundation because of the fact that I'm oily combination skin, but this foundation is extremely drying. I feel like it's better applied wet. When I apply it on my skin, it just is so fast to dry that you have to really work with it fast, and then once it dries, it kind of looks like a little cakey on your skin. And I really feel like the foundation has to be applied wet to get a better coverage, and you have to really moisturize ahead of time and have a good primer underneath for this to look nice on your skin. And to, you know, to kind of go through that hassle, it's not really worth it to me. So this is something that I think I will pass up on repurchasing. I think it's a nice one if you have extremely oily skin, then just like everything slides off your face, this would probably work for you. If you have dry skin or normal skin, I would pass up on this because it's going to look cakey on your skin. I myself, being combination oily, feel like it's dry on my skin, and it just kind of looks really drying on the skin. It makes my skin look dry and my skin's not dry. So that is not a good sign for this foundation. The color match is pretty good on my skin. I haven't had any complaints with it, but the only way I can wear this foundation, like I said, is having, you know, put on a good moisturizer, having put on a good like moisturizing primer for this to look really nice on the skin itself. As far as longevity, I feel this wears really nice. Not 24 hours like it says. I think it probably wears between 6 to 8 hours really nicely before I start seeing fading, especially around my nose. Even though it is really matte, it is a very light coverage. It claims that it's medium, but I find it to be light, and I find that if I try to build up the coverage, I get kind of really cakey with this. So it's not something that's buildable. It's very light coverage, and then on top of it being light coverage, I feel like because of the light coverage, there are certain areas that just kind of like get patchy and kind of disappear during the day, and I've had that happen around this area and around my nose area. Everything else stays put, but this area here in the middle really kind of just fades away after those few after around like 5 or 6 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the demo right now so you guys can go ahead and see that. And I do half of my face, do the foundation, and then go ahead and show you guys the application of the powder as well, which I will talk about next. the powder, and this is the Infallible Pro Matte Powder. This one says that it claims for 16-hour wear. It's a matte finish, air fine, oil free. I got this one in Nude Beige, which is a little bit more of a neutral tone since they didn't have the natural beige available when I purchased this. But I think that both the natural beige and the nude beige are a good color match for me. One's a little bit more neutral undertone, while this one is a lot more, the natural beige is a little bit more yellow undertone. So on the back of this one, likewise, they have that new packaging where it says that the finish is completely matte. The hour is, the wear time is 16 hours, and the texture is air fine. So this one, the packaging is really new. It has this kind of same imitation of the Fit Me from Maybelline. It's completely see-through. You have the powder product, and then you lift it up, and then you have the sponge with the mirror. So it's very similar to the Maybelline kind of style, and I really like this packaging a lot more. I like the fact that it's very nice and sleek, like it's easy to be portable. And you can see the product, of course, through the top of the product. So this product, I have to say, is a nice one. I like this a lot better than the foundation, but I have to say I don't like the combination of the two together. This is a powder foundation, and the same way the Maybelline Fit Me one is, but the Maybelline Fit Me one is very nice and smooth and just very poreless when you put it on top of a foundation. This one is so matte that when it goes on top of this foundation, it just becomes really, really cakey. Although I have to say I do like this powder. It is a very light airweight powder. That's the shade right there, and as you can see, it just gives a hint of coverage. You can build it up if you wanted to. As far as the coverage, this one isn't as full coverage as the Maybelline Fit Me one. This one gives a lot more of a light coverage. It's not something, I try to wear it on its own, it just gives like a very, very light coverage to the skin. It's not very long wearing. It is mattifying, and I feel like it does extend the wear of other foundations. So I think that if you're looking for a nice mattifying setting powder, this is a good way to go. It's a really nice one from the drugstore, but I would not, like I said, use it in combination with this, because this being a very matte foundation, I know it says demi matte, but this is super, super dry matte on the skin. So this combination right here just looks very cakey. I would definitely say use this on top of other foundations as a setting powder, or matte setting powder. It's really, really nice. And this one I would use on its own. I also really like using my Pure Miracle Mist before applying this, and that's a good way of getting it to look really nice on the skin, because this does a lot of hydration on the skin. So overall, I have to say I like it. I'm not completely in love with it. If I had to choose between this new line and the Maybelline Fit Matte, I would definitely go with the Maybelline. I feel like I get so many beautiful compliments when I have that one on my skin. It just kind of really like makes me look really flawless. It makes me look poreless. It just gives a awesome coverage, and it's very long wearing. This one just kind of accentuates, you know, dryness, and just kind of just makes the skin not look as smooth. So I'm not saying that it's completely bad, but it's not on my favorites list. So that is my opinion on this. Let me know if you guys have tried it, what's working out for you. I would also suggest maybe using a damp beauty blender, or applying it, you know, with something wet, or damping your brush ahead of time, and maybe that will help kind of smooth it out a little bit more. It doesn't give enough coverage for me. I wish there was a little bit more coverage, or if it had light coverage, that it looked really natural and beautiful on the skin like the Maybelline Fit Me. I actually feel like this kind of even accentuates my pores and like lines and things like that. So this is totally a thumbs down for me. I just am so like disappointed in this. I wish it was a lot better. I feel like I really have to do a lot of things to try to make this work, which is just not worth it for me. So yeah, let me know if you guys have tried this, if you're loving it, how you're making it work for you. I'd love to know your opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and until next time, bye guys.